All right, guys, I thought I would go over the different sounds that the saber makes and the different functions, I guess, that it has. There are some things that I was surprised by that I didn't know that it did, and there's some things that I kind of expected from doing some research on these. So let me just kind of walk through this here. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the actual crystal chamber. So you can get to that just by loosening up the emitter. You don't have to take it all the way off. An end cap, again, doesn't need to come all the way off. You can just then undo a grip. As long as it's doing that, you should be good to take the switch off. And same thing here, we're good there. We can pop off the switch here. Same thing there. So there's our crystal chamber with our kyber crystal. They're plastic, but still pretty cool. So that pops off there. And you can see on here, you've got a little indentation and a hole there on that side. Same thing on this side. And that's where the points of the kyber crystal fit in. Some people put them in this way, some do this way. It doesn't seem to matter. But when you put them in, you get that noise. And also it's hard to see, but this thing also, you can see there, lights up. There we go. I've got a pretty bright light on here to show you guys what I'm doing. So kind of a cool little thing there. You get the activation noise when you put the crystal in the chamber, which is, again, just kind of a bonus feature. So we'll get the switch back on here. Again, we got red lines up with the red here, and blue lines up with blue there. These go back on there. That goes back on there. And we got our end caps there, and emitter there. Cool. So that's back all together there. Now, this does make a noise when you turn it on without having the blade in. Kind of a short circuit, like, nope, sorry, no blade is in, but kind of a cool thing. Now, when you put the blade in, you get essentially an activation noise there too. Kind of a little click thing. And of course you have your noise when you turn it on. Now I've got a bright light on this right now, so you can't really see how bright this is. I'll probably share, I'll share later on the video in like a darker room so you can see. So you got that noise there. Noise when you turn it off. You also have noise on movement. As you can tell, it's a little bit delayed. One thing that's kind of a bummer about this. There's also like a flash on clash, which is kind of a cool feature there. And another noise when you take the blade out, and as you can tell, sometimes it doesn't make that noise. Let's try that again. So, oh no, there it is. So that's in, and then there we go. So a little quirky there, and there's a lot of times a delay in the sound. There's a bit of a delay in when you turn the switch on and it comes on. There's a delay in the movement, and there's kind of a delay in the flash to clash. Kind of picky stuff, but maybe worth knowing. I mean, people aren't really going to do much battling with these, I don't think. So, but just kind of a, food for thought thing. Overall, as I shared in the other videos, I mean, it's a $200 experience. You get a great experience out of it. You also get a pretty decent saber. It's not as pretty as maybe some of the more expensive ones you can buy or the Legacy series, but for what you pay, you get a great saber out of it. So thanks for watching. Hopefully that was helpful as you guys are trying to figure out more about this experience. I wanted you guys to see how bright this blade is. It's not the brightest that you've ever seen from a lightsaber. It's not the dimmest. These are actually a little bit brighter than the Disney Park series. One cool thing about these blades is that they're interchangeable with the Legacy series that you can buy at Galaxy's Edge now. It's not a downside, it just kind of is what it is. They're not compatible with the Disney Park series that was out before the whole Galaxy's Edge thing, you know, became a thing, I guess. But you can see at least how bright the actual blade is. And two, you can see what it looks like when it does that flash on clash thing. So pretty bright. And the cool thing about these blades is that they are RGB blades. So when you put a different crystal in the chamber, it changes the blade color without having changed the blade to a different one. So kind of a cool thing, but I thought you guys might want to see just how bright it was in a darker room. I wanted you guys to hear the sound a little bit closer from this saber. This one is definitely better than the Disney Park sabers that they came out with, I think a few years ago now. I'm not sure if it's different than the Legacy sabers. Like I said, I don't have one of those. But on the Disney Park sabers, when you turn it on, it would turn on, and then there'd be almost like a pause before the hum kicked in, which was just kind of frustrating, I guess. But this is more seamless, and it has a little more of oomph to it, if that makes sense. Not so tinny sounding like the other ones. I mean, you can only do so much with the teeny tiny speaker that's in there, but I think they did a pretty decent job with what they're working with here. So you can hear now when it comes on, and that just kind of hum that it has, and the deactivation. Overall, pretty good for what it is. Here's the cool thing. When you change the crystal in here, it changes the blade color, but it also changes the sound. So all the sounds for all the colors, it's already built in to one soundboard, which makes sense because they don't want to make a bunch of different ones, but kind of a cool feature. And you'll see when I show you that RFID hack that when you change, you know, the RFID code for crystal, it changes the color of the blade, also changes the sound. So kind of a cool thing. But again, you can hear overall pretty decent.